I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, and rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat, because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be. Welcome to Growing Your Business Starts With You. This is not intuitive for most entrepreneurs. We believe that if we want to grow our business, we have to go work on the business or in the business, or one of those cliche phrases people use. You know, are we getting enough leads? Are we doing enough? Are we marketing enough? Are we pushing enough? Are we bringing in the right people? Are we building the right team? But one of the fastest ways to grow your business and ensure that it continues growing long term is to grow yourself. Put foundational keystone habits in place that will make you a stable and successful and momentum-based person. And if you've listened to this podcast, to the first 100 and some episodes before this one, then you know that keystone habits are crucially important, because if you've tried any of them, like hydration or planning or offloading where you're uncomfortable, or anything that I've suggested in these, even the primal walk in the morning, you will find that everything in your life starts creating momentum. Everything in your life starts feeling like there's less resistance. Everything in your life starts feeling like there's less operational drag. And that's exactly how it should be. And one of our clients, Jay Berube, he's just inspirational. He and his wife Jessica inspire me. They are an incredible couple. They care about each other. They align with each other. They spend time with each other. They are a real example of what it means to protect and support your spouse. And they are amazing parents. They have a couple of kids who they've adopted, and Jessica's an advocate for adoption, and she does a lot of work for adoption. And in getting to know Jay, I have just been blown away, impressed with how seriously he takes being a husband, and how much thought he puts into being a father, and how much he cares about his wife and his kids, and what an incredible business he's running at the same time. And this interview that I want to share with you that I did with Jay is insightful for all of us, because Jay so eloquently describes that when you do the right things in your life, your business gets easier. When you do the right things in your marriage, your business gets easier. And when you do the right things for yourself, your business gets easier. Take a listen to this interview and pay attention to what it is that Jay's doing, because these are simple processes, simple keystone habits you can put into your life and get massive results just like Jay. Jay, thanks so much for doing this, man. I appreciate you calling me even while you're driving.
Yeah, no worries.
So this is awesome. You're a huge part of the Grow and Scale program. I love having you in the group. Can you just, this is for people who are considering joining the same mastermind. Tell us a little bit about where you were before you joined. Like, what do you do and what you were doing before you joined?
Yeah, sure thing. So I have a real estate sales brokerage and then also a property management brokerage. And I just kept hitting a glass ceiling, like for the past 3 years. And we had spoken about it. And it's just like I couldn't get through just a certain amount of production, and I just couldn't figure out why. Yeah.
So feeling just kind of stuck in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, obviously very frustrating, because I always felt like I was so much more.
So how does it feel now that we've been working together for a while, Jay?
Well, I'll tell you what, honestly, like these are the easiest questions for me to answer, just because you take a holistic approach, right? So like I've been working on myself, I've been working on my marriage, which your stuff actually works for my marriage, which is really cool. And you care, which is awesome, because when we came to Austin, it's like, hey Jay, you know what? We really want to get to the bottom of this. We really want to work on this, because relationship is the most important. And if you don't have your relationship, this is straight out of your mouth, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to be in the business.
Was that a new approach for you, Jay?
Well, yeah, I used to just work, and I'd say like family first. I'm all about my family, but like, my schedule did not show that.
Was it weird for you because you joined a program for Grow and Scale? Was it weird to like be in a business Grow and Scale program and then almost immediately start addressing personal stuff and stuff in the marriage and really building the foundation?
No, that wasn't tough for me, because I think I just needed the prompt, because I knew how important it was, and I knew where I was going, and where I was going was I kept pushing. I couldn't get anywhere. And then at the same time, my marriage, I'm not going to say it was suffering, but obviously it could have been a lot better.
Got it. So give us some of the biggest realizations you've had or the biggest changes you've made from being in the Grow and Scale program, Jay.
Yeah, sure. There's probably there's a ton. And especially because you have all this content, and I'm like the kind of guy, I don't space it out, so like I'm doing everything all at once. Like I got my Vibrams, I got my my football to roll my foot on, and my swamis and my meditation thing. But and I went through and I blasted through all the content on the Grow and Scale too. But I'd say that, what was the question again?
Like, what is the biggest change you've made, or what's the biggest feeling change there is?
Is number one, we realized that. Got me now? You hear me?
No, we've still got. Okay, now we got you.
Okay, so hopefully he can cut all that.
Yeah.
So systems are huge. So like I did not have the systems. One of the reasons why I kept hitting the glass ceiling, and I just kept feeling frustrated because I didn't have the systems and infrastructure in place. So I went through my company and I just rebuilt it all from the ground up, made sure I had the right people on the bus. And actually I just hired 2 temps and a new assistant property manager, because I want to get all this stuff blasted away. I didn't have any annual meetings, quarterly, like everybody was interrupting me whenever. I wasn't offloading things to people. So like I was doing everything on my own. And I was micromanaging. You're talking about transformational leadership, which is completely different, like night and day. And like, trust me, don't get me wrong, like I'm grinding it out. So like this hurts, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. What is that? When you say light at the end of the tunnel, Jay, are things getting easier for you?
Not yet, but I'm at the cusp to where I know that they're going to be way easier for me. Because like, look, if you want things to get easy, right, you got to put in the work. So I had to put in the work. And I mean, I was building the Empire State Building on top of like a mud pile. And now what I did is I had to go, 100 feet down into the ground and, just get stable and have a secure environment, which is what I've been doing for a little while now, but it's starting to look really nice.
Jay, you told me something when you were leaving Austin that meant a lot to me. You said, I think my marriage might be in the best place it's ever been. And it surprised me because, we're in a business course and that's not the direct focus, but indirectly, this program does help your marriage. You already said that. What did that mean when you told me that?
You know what? That's actually the other thing I was going to mention. So I'm glad you brought that up. Before this, like I never communicated with my wife about the business. And it's crazy because she worked with me in the business for like years, for like 6 years. And there was so much turmoil because I didn't communicate with her the goals. I didn't have her weigh in. And what happened was I didn't know this because I mean, I probably should have sensed it, but I didn't know that since I wasn't communicating about it properly and we weren't having like, as you call them, targeted interactions. And I take it the way with my wife as well. You know, we meet now every morning. We meet in the evenings. We touch base. I check in with her on the goals so that she knows financially and business wise, you know, how much time I'm putting in. And when I'm putting in that time, if I'm not home, she knows what it's going to, you know? So like, we're just on the same page now, which is really awesome.
What has that done for you and Jessica, Jay?
It's allowed us to have more time together. It's also allowed us to, when I need to work a Saturday or Sunday, to get that in without her being upset about it, because she knows where it's going. And then also she's able to see the progress that we're making, because like I never did the type of business planning that you teach. Like for me, the business plan is like, okay, these are the numbers I'm trying to hit. This is the stuff I'm going to do to get there. Like your program's very much in depth to where, you know, since we're breaking it down to 90 days and 30 days, we're able to see like, okay, these are the things we're tackling now. And then I revise it in the next 30 days and update it. And then Jessica's able to track that and be like, okay, this is where we're coming. And then she can chime in as far as like, okay, maybe slow down, or, you know, how come you didn't get there? And she's on the same page.
When you were in Austin, I mentioned something to you. I said, Jay, I think Jessica might be your secret weapon. Are you starting to see what I meant?
Yeah, I am. I am. She's actually going to start doing some of these. She's very supportive, like very, very supportive. Like, I mean, I think I did tell you, like I had a really bad, depressed 2015, and she was with me every step of the way, and it was tough. And, you know, she's just so supportive. And you know what? Actually being able to appreciate what my wife more since I've been in this for like, I don't know, it's only been like 3 months maybe. Since I've been able to appreciate my wife more, I actually nominated her for an award through our local board of realtors with, I don't know, like 1,000 or 1,500 agents. And it's called the Pat Lord Service Award. And it goes to the person who gave the most in the past year, service related. Right. And so I wrote, like, I had a mind dump, and I like started crying. Seriously, like writing this 5 pages of like what she's done, like for adoption, for Chinese foster kids, for like, you know, service projects after Hurricane Irma. And at the end of it, I submitted it, and she's being awarded. She's getting that award this week.
Did she know that?
She knows I submitted it because I read it to her, but she doesn't know that she's going to get the award. She just knows
Jay,
she was
congratulations, man. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. You know,
I wouldn't have been able to appreciate her as much if I couldn't see clearly.
Yeah. So the clarity this program is giving you, it's not just clarity in business, it's clarity in life.
Yeah, it definitely is, with my relationship.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it, Jay. So if somebody's considering the program, is there anything else you'd tell them about the effect it's had on you, your family, your marriage, your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if somebody obviously is the right fit for you, you know, and you know that, like, that person, in my opinion, like, if they're like me, they have so much potential, but they're not around the right peer group. They're not, like, they don't have the right resources, and like, they're kicking ass, but like, there's so much more, and there's so much more out there, but you don't know what you don't know. So what I would say is, like, for those people, if you feel like you have that potential and you know that you can like skyrocket just with a little bit of a nudge, like, I'm really glad that I met you, because honestly, if I didn't, I'd be going through the same motions like a hamster on a wheel. And that's not me, man. And I doubt that's any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So the fact that I would have to do that even for more years, I mean, honestly, I'd live a shorter life. Like, you know, so I know that I'm going to live longer because of Alex Sharfin.
That's awesome, Jay. Dude, I appreciate you and Jessica so much. And thank you for doing this. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. You got it, bud.
All right, brother. We'll see you soon, Jay.
All right. See you, Alex.
Thanks,
Bye now.
man. I hope you were as inspired by Jay as I am. And each time I listen to that interview, I pick something different up. And you know what's so fantastic is that if you're in a marriage and you want your spouse to lean in and to help you, and or you're in a relationship and you want your partner to help you, to help you grow the business, to help you move forward, to understand where you're coming from, it takes communication. And as you heard, Jay takes his business planning, shares it with his wife, gets her input. And how many entrepreneurs could benefit from doing that? I share with entrepreneurs all the time. If you are married, there are 2 rules for the ultimate entrepreneurial success in business. 1, your marriage is more important and most important. And 2, transparency in your marriage is absolute. And if anything else happens, go back to rule number 1. Because as entrepreneurs, we all know that our marriage is the most important relationship in our life. We try to deny it sometimes, especially when we're having conflict with our spouse, but it is the most important relationship in our lives. And I love how Jay talked about how he and Jessica communicate and how she supports him. And you can hear how important it is to him that she's there for him. And if you are in a similar situation, communicating with your spouse may change everything about your business, and it may change everything about how you see what you do and who you are. If you haven't yet, download a copy of the Entrepreneurial Personality Type book. It is, or get a copy of the Entrepreneurial Personality Type book. Go to freemomentumbook.com. If you relate to these podcasts and to the information in them, the Entrepreneurial Personality Type will tell you more about yourself than anyone ever has.